Namaste. Welcome to Yin and Restorative Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua, and for this practice, you'll want to have two blocks, a strap, a bolster or pillow, and a blanket. Let's begin in any comfortable seated pose. You may like to sit on any of your props to elevate your pelvis, allowing your spine to be more upright. Take a moment to settle in, physically grounded. I want to continue highlighting one of the practices within the first limb of yoga that I highlighted in yesterday's practice. The yamas, or the first limb of yoga, you might recall, are the set of 5 practices that are sort of like ethical guidelines that empower us to live in harmony with each other. And so the practice that I brought up yesterday, once again, was brahmacharya. And brahmacharya, as I've often translated it, to mean wise use of energy. But I love diving at these practices from different perspectives, different angles, different writers who interpret the practice slightly differently. So this one is an interpretation by Gabrielle Harris in her book, The Inspired Yoga Teacher. She writes, "It is said that we all possess a secret life-preserving potion located at the base of the brain called Amrita. This fluid of immortality is said to lengthen our lifespan. As it leaks out, it saps our energy. According to the ancients, the yogis, merely turning upside down would preserve the fluid. Thus, spending minutes in headstand and all those other inversion, shoulder stand type of practices, forward folds. Like a slowly leaking tire, this yama asks us to look at the areas in our life where our amrita, so to say, or life force drains. We practice yoga to fortify, preserve, and conserve our energy, not to deplete it. We also practice in order to plug the holes and the leaks and to steer ourselves away from being exhausted or drained. Through self-examination, which is another practice of yoga called svadhyaya, we may name the rivers of depletion that show up in our life: excessive worry, needless running around, incessant talk, placing our energy into a goal that is not in alignment with our life path, and worshiping our addictions are all stamina drains. When we find a balance between energy coming in and life force going out, we are more able to pour our attention into the things that matter. By eliminating distractions, not chasing after every pleasure, not getting caught up by the senses, and intentionally choosing where we concentrate energy, we are practicing brahmacharya. So really helpful when she talks about distractions, or yesterday when she mentioned not putting our energy into meaningless things. Well, how do you discern what's meaningful and what's meaningless? Recently, I sat in a Dharma talk by this Buddhist monk who talked about how to discern that. And I love the way he described it. He said, a rubric for deciding if what you're spending your energy on is meaningful or meaningless is to ask yourself, does this contribute to my inner wealth? Does this activity or thing that I'm focusing on contribute to my inner wealth? What is your inner wealth? He described it as the things, the qualities that you start to cultivate through this lifetime that you can take with you outside of this physical body. For example, the quality of patience, compassion, forgiveness, joy, peace, all these virtuous qualities, gratitude, things that help you when you are in troubled times, things that will be applicable in any situation to fortify you and lift you up. and support you. So often helpful, does this experience that I'm placing my energy into or giving my attention contribute to my inner wealth? So how will this practice be something meaningful for you? It really depends on how we approach it too, right? So let's take a moment to assess what we bring into our practice and then decide how we approach it personally. So take a moment to be still and notice your body. Scanning your attention through different sensations, calling your attention. Observing your body without judging it. How do you feel right now physically? Begin to observe the breath without changing the way you're breathing. As you sense the different qualities of the breath, like pace, fluidity, anything else, notice how you're feeling in your energy, meeting yourself where you are. Start to observe your mind and the state of your mind, the state of your heart. What kinds of emotions are moving through you right now to hold space for? Let's begin to deepen the breath. Letting out a sigh if you like as you open the mouth to exhale. And inhaling a little bit deeper. Sense the feeling of letting go of all the breath to empty it. What is something right now that you are grateful for in any aspect of your life? One way to uplift our energy is to practice gratitude. And clarify what you would like to give your attention to in this practice. What quality are you strengthening as part of your inner wealth? And as remember that our practice is not only self-serving, it's for the benefit of all around us. Imagine someone or something that you care about, and maybe choose to dedicate today's practice to them, helping us to let go of our egos and think beyond our individual selves. And with that, let's join our voices to create resonance, supporting each other in this community practice. Chanting Om 3 times. Inhale a little deeper. Now, pranayama, different ways that we regulate our energy by regulating our breath, can be helpful in this practice of brahmacharya. So I'm going to invite you into a pranayama that helps to cleanse our lungs enliven the force of energy flowing through, and bring clarity to the mind. And this is called bellows breath. In Sanskrit, it's called Bhastrika Pranayama. It's done by inhaling fully through the nose and imagining you're filling up your entire torso at once. So you're expanding the belly and the lungs using the diaphragm. And then exhaling just as fully out through the nose, letting it all go, turning it into a brisk rhythm, sort of like this. Now, there's a physical movement you can add to make this even more energizing. As you sit tall and relax the shoulders, bend the elbows apart to the height of the shoulders, and make fists with your hands. As you breathe in deeply, raise your arms and spread your fingers. As you breathe out deeply, bend the elbows and refist the hands like this. So let's try bellows breath for a minute straight if you can. Of course, rest if you need to stop. I'm going to watch the clock. Get your arms ready if you're going to add the Kriya. Ready? Begin. We're halfway through. And relax. Breathe naturally for a few moments and observe how you feel. Now I'm going to invite you into resonant breathing, where you continue to close the lips and breathe. Inhaling for 6 counts slowly. Exhaling for 6 counts slowly. No holding the breath in or out. Now you might place a hand on your chest and a hand on your lower belly so that you're inviting the breath to fully expand both into the lungs and the belly and even the back of your torso. So let's try a few rounds together before we enter another breathing technique, which will guide us into our asanas, our poses. So empty this breath to prepare. Then slowly inhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Count on your own, in 6, out 6. And let's start to create a gentle whispering sound as you breathe with the mouth closed. That sound is created by softly constricting or gently narrowing the back of the throat. As you listen to the sound, listen to the qualities of your breath, making sure that it's very gentle and smooth, not forceful. You want the sound to be sort of a whisper, a very subtle sound. Continuing to inhale for 6 and exhale for 6 without holding the breath. Listen to the transitions between the in and the out breaths. When our mind is very busy and our attention is scattered, that is one way to deplete our energy. So as we focus on these pranayamas, regulating the breath, we're helping to center our focus on one thing at a time, the breath, which is only happening in the present moment. So continue to focus on the sound of your breath, letting go of counting, but intuitively breathing in as slowly as you breathe out, using the full capacity of the lungs and the belly. Now practicing what's called Ujjayi Pranayama, victorious breathing. As you keep listening to the breath, let's switch the cross of the legs if your legs are crossed. I'm going to sit a little bit longer here with a spinal circling action moving to the breath. So on your next inhalation, sway your spine to the left and shift your weight forward towards the front of your pelvis. Exhaling to the right and shift your weight towards the back of the pelvis. Continue a few more spinal circles or Sufi rolls in this direction. Today's physical practice is going to be an all around different parts of the body opening up and strengthening, mostly opening up in yin. Let's go in the opposite direction in these Sufi rolls. With a little bit more focus on Ajna chakra, our third eye center, our intuitive energy center. When energy is flowing and balanced here, we have a sense of clear seeing, clear perception of what is, not clouded by our habits of thought or our conditioning, but really trying to see things clearly, seeing the bigger picture of why we do things like show up to yoga. All right, let's come back to center and we'll make our way down onto downward facing dog. Coming upside down, getting blood flow, energy flow towards the area of your third eye center, which is at the middle of your brain, near where your pineal gland is. So as you arrive in downward dog, spend a few breaths just listening to how your body is asking you to move and loosen up. For example, to stretch out the backs of your legs, you might slowly pedal your feet in place. Stay aware of your breathing. To loosen up your neck, you might gently shake your head a few times, nod your head a few times, while drawing the shoulders back away from the neck. To open up the sides of your torso and outer hips, you might swivel your hips side to side as you pedal your feet, like you're dancing a twist. On your next inhale, lower to hands and knees in tabletop, and let's begin flexing and extending the spine to the breath with cat-cows, Betalasana. When you're ready, as you breathe in, slowly glide your chest forward, roll the shoulders back and down, lifting your chest in cow pose. As you breathe out, contract your abdomen, dropping your head slowly to round the back in cat pose. Keep going. Inhale, broaden your chest forward and coil it up, stretching the front of your spine. Exhale, lift your navel towards the back, doming the spine, stretching the back. Go for maybe another 5 or so cycles of breath. Listening to the sound of your breath as you regulate your energy. On your next exhalation, bring the feet together to touch and enter child's pose, Balasana, sinking your hips down to your heels. Rest your forehead on the ground or props or your arms. Just let your whole body sink downward towards Mother Earth, feeling a sense of grounding, literally feeling your weight being supported. Tune into several deep breaths here. Physically, this can be a gentle way to stretch the back by reaching the arms forward and drawing the hips back and down. If you're not already doing so, extend your arms forward, but keep your heart and head close to the earth. Keep drawing your hips down to your heels and walk your hands over to your right side, maybe reaching both of your hands outside of your mat for a side stretch. You might imagine breathing deeper into the left wall of your rib cage and into the left side of your lower back. Feel the point of contact, if it's touching, of your third eye center region, the middle of your forehead between the eyebrows and the earth below. You could even gently shake your head no to massage that region, just bringing attention to your intuitive center. Slowly walk your hands through center on your mat and reach over to your left side as far as you're able to. You might focus on breathing deeper along the right side of your torso. One more full breath here. And then walk your hands forward again and come forward onto hands and knees. Tuck your toes and lift your hips back into downward facing dog. This time holding still for 3 breaths. While holding still, continue to wrap your triceps towards the floor. Lift the shoulders, drop the head, draw the hips high and back from in the belly as you press your chest back towards the shins and root the heels downward towards the earth. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Bending your right knee, allow a few breaths to rotate your right thigh bone at your hip socket in both directions. Keep relaxing your neck. If this is too tiring for your shoulders or hands right now, you can lower your left knee to the floor so that you're doing this movement from tabletop. On your next inhale, turn the right thigh open as you bend the knee, tack the left hip back. Exhale, step the right foot gently forward beside your right thumb. Set your left knee down and keep the back toes tucked. Now notice if it's helpful to have your fingertips raised on blocks as you frame your right ankle so that your shoulders can relax and you can breathe easily. As you breathe in, look up, soften your shoulders back and down. Kneeling lunge. Keep your feet where they are, and as you breathe out, lift the left knee, draw your right outer hip back towards whatever degree you can straighten the legs to comfortably bow like you have a flat back. Inhale, kneeling lunge again. Exhale, lift the back knee, pyramid pose. Let's keep going to the breath. Maybe close the eyes and steady your inner gaze, kneeling lunge towards your third eye center. Moving more from an inside out point of view. Exhale, pyramid pose. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. Last time, inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. Let's stay in pyramid and step the left foot forward, another 1 foot, shorter stance, drop the back heel. You might use the right thumb to slightly tack the right outer hip back. Lift your chest, inhale, stretch the spine forward. Try to equally lengthen the left and right sides of your torso and neck as you exhale to fold for a few more breaths. Remember to only fold as deep as your spine can feel like it's a flat back. You're not rounding the shoulders or tensing the neck or the breath. Pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. If you're feeling really open in the back of your right leg here, you can lift the ball of your right foot as you flex the foot. Keep the heel exactly where it is, but imagine the feeling of dragging the heel back towards the rear of the mat while you extend your chest forward. Let's step back into downward facing dog. As you breathe in, come forward into plank pose. As you exhale, lower your knees, then lower your chest, then lower your chin, Ashtangasana. Inhale, slither forward, roll the shoulders back into a gentle version of cobra, rooting down through the tops of your feet. Exhale, press into child's pose for 3 breaths. Feet together touching, hips sinking back and down to the heels, forehead towards the earth. Listen to the quality of your breath to check in with your energy. On your next exhale, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Bending the knee, rotate your left thigh at the hip for a few cycles of breath, going in both directions. Keep relaxing your neck, evenly press down through both hands, lifting both shoulders back. Remember that you can set the right knee on the floor if you need more support. On the next inhalation, keep the left knee bent and turn out the thigh at the hip. Draw the right hip back. As you exhale, softly as you can, step the left foot forward beside your left thumb and lower the right knee, tucking the back toes in a kneeling lunge. Use your wise discernment to decide if you need blocks under your hands and what height you might need them. As you breathe in, gazing up, relax the shoulders back and down. Keep your feet where they are. And as you breathe out, lift the right knee, draw your left outer hip back to whatever degree you can straighten the legs so that you're bowing as if you have a flat back. Inhale, kneeling lunge again. Exhale, pyramid pose again. 3 more cycles of breath. Inhale, maybe close the eyes. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Stay in pyramid and step your right foot forward, another foot to shorten the stance and drop the back heel. With both legs straight, you might use your left thumb to tack your left outer hip back so that you're evenly squaring your hips to face the front of your mat, to lengthen the left and right sides of your torso evenly too. As you breathe in, press down with your fingertips and lift your chest forward. Draw in the belly, glide the shoulder blades back, and then continue to fold just to the degree in which you can create a lot of space in your neck and across your chest. Pyramid pose. Parshvottanasana. If the back of your left leg feels really open right now, you can lift the ball of your left foot flexed. Keep the heel where it is, but energetically drag the heel back towards the rear of the mat while extending your chest forward. Take your time to step back into downward facing dog again. This time, come forward to hands and knees, tabletop, and take your 2 blocks. Like we did yesterday, we're gonna stretch out the backs of the shoulders, like the area of your latissimus dorsi, your lats, and your triceps, outer upper arms. So let's take the 2 blocks, place them like a number 11 on their second level or medium height at the top of your mat, spaced apart, as wide apart as your shoulders distance. Now behind the block, set your knees about a foot to begin with. Extend your arms forward with the palms face down. Externally rotate your upper arm bones at the shoulder sockets. So spin the triceps down to protract or spread apart your shoulder blades. And then at the same time, draw the shoulder blades down your back away from the neck. Keep doing those 2 actions, protract and depress the shoulder blades. And then bend your elbows. Place them exactly your shoulders distance apart onto the blocks and press your fingertips into each other. Now walk your knees back until they're about 2 inches behind your hips. With steady breaths, trace your thumbs down the back of your skull, down the back of your neck, maybe down between the shoulder blades if you can. Letting your head sink to the ground, letting your chest sink to broaden, but not letting the belly just flop down. In fact, engage your abdomen slightly, lifting the navel towards your spine to support it. Draw your hips back and continue those 2 actions of the shoulder blades. Wrap the triceps down to spread the shoulder blades apart. Depress the shoulder blades away from the neck. We're here for about 7 more deep breaths. And engage your abdomen to slowly rise up. Remove your elbows from the blocks, but keep the blocks somewhere within arm's reach near the top of your mat. And let's come back to all fours, hands and knees, so that you can lower back to sit and bring the legs in front. We're going to warm up the hips just a little bit more before we come into a deeper hip opening posture here. So as you're sitting down with your feet in front of you and your knees bent, step your feet apart on the ground so they're maybe a little wider than your hips distance. Place the hands on the floor behind your pelvis to support your balance and try to sit upright. Relax the shoulders. Let's start to windshield wiper the legs. So you might flex your feet if your knees are tender, just to keep the muscles engaged around the knees to support their alignment. Inhale, drop your knees to the right. Exhale, drop your knees to the left. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. Now keep going several more cycles. Treat it like a mini vinyasa flow or breath-led movement. So we are abducting and adducting the legs interchangeably. You might feel a massage in your glutes. Let's go a little further with this. Come on down to your back. Draw your bent knees into your chest and take hold of your bent knees with your hands. Start to circle your thighs together and apart in opposite directions organically. Tuning into the breath to guide your pace of movements. Then let's start to rock either side to side or forward and back so that eventually you make your way back to that tabletop position. Now we can prepare to practice single pigeon pose. From hands and knees, turn out your right thigh at the hip and slide the right shin across your mat in front of your pelvis. Lower to sit by straightening the left leg behind you and tuck the back toes. Place your hands alongside your hips and lift your pelvis off the floor. Draw your right outer hip back and rotate your left outer hip forward until both of your hips are evenly facing the front of your mat. Now, if your right hip feels pretty warm and you're able to cross the right shin so that it's exactly parallel to the front edge of your mat, then make sure that you're flexing your right foot the whole time. Relax the back toes and lift your chest. Stretch the front of your torso. You can stay upright. If there's enough happening here, you don't need to go any further. You could rest onto a stack of blocks to support your forehead. However, you need to configure the blocks so that you can relax the shoulders. You could bend the left knee as you lean the torso forward and also stretch your left quadricep and the inner side of your left shoulder like this. So the left arm back strokes to catch the inner side of the left ankle or foot. And you bring the torso forward. So however you're practicing this posture, I'm gonna continue watching the time for another 2 minutes here. Continue watching your breath and the sensations in your body from the inside out. So maybe close the eyes. And start to make your way very slowly back to hands and knees, tabletop. Take your time getting there. As you arrive in tabletop, just take a moment to move any organic way that your body might need to just integrate what happened on one side. Like you might circle your pelvis and torso laterally, side to side. You might gently shake your head no if your neck needs to move. Let's take a slow exhalation through the mouth with any sound releasing out, just to let any stagnant energy move through. So you can even howl, you can yell if it's okay in your space. So full inhale through the nose, gather it in. Stick out the tongue, open the mouth wide, clear it out. Ha. All right, close the lips. Come back to Ujjayi breathing, soft whisper. Turn out your left thigh at the hip. Slide your left shin across your mat in front of your pelvis. Lower to sit with the right leg straight behind you, tucking the toes. Frame your hips with your hands and lift your pelvis off the floor. Draw your left outer hip back and rotate your right outer hip forward. Now, if your left shin is able to comfortably parallel the front edge of your mat, make sure you're flexing your left foot the entire pose. Relax the back toes. And remember what you did on the first side of this posture. See if that's possible to enter here, but be very mindful to enter slowly so you're not pushing it towards the expectation of what you did on the first side. So you're just going there, but noticing how your body is guiding you through sensations, how far you need to go on this side, how you might need to configure the blocks differently if you're resting your forehead on them. Or if you backstroke the other arm, this time you're backstroking the right arm and catching the inner side of the right ankle or foot for the quadricep stretch. Let your torso lean forward. Tune into the breath for 2 more minutes. Taking your time once again, start to release from the pose, this time making your way to sit with both legs out in front of you. As you arrive there, let's prepare for a seated spinal twist. So straighten the left leg forward and flex the left foot. Bend the right knee and step the right foot on the ground in front of your right hip. Now, making sure your 2 sitting bones are grounded, you can also elevate your pelvis on a folded blanket if that helps. Stay here or cross the right foot outside of the left knee. Stay there or also bend the left knee. Still, the sitting bones are grounded. Backstroke your right arm, place the hand behind your pelvis, and then press all of your body touching the ground into the ground firmly so that you can rise up taller through the spine. Breathing in, raise the left arm. Draw the shoulders down, keep the chest open as you breathe out. Start to twist to your right. Lower the left arm to hold your top leg. Breathe in, root down and rise taller. Breathe out, soften the belly, continue to twist. You might hook the left elbow outside the right thigh. And just continue to explore your range of motion, having a balance of effort with ease. Letting the exhales promote the belly to soften in maybe creating more space for the twist. For about 5 more deep breaths here. On your next exhalation, unwind your spine, stretch both legs forward, sit up tall, and let's switch sides. If you can, try to set up in the same variation of the pose, stepping the left foot in front of the left hip, or crossing the foot outside the right knee, or also bending the right knee from there. Make sure that you can equally ground both sitting bones. Backstroke the left arm, place the hand on the ground, right arm up, sit up a little taller as you breathe in. Twist to the left as you breathe out. Lower your right arm, sit up a little taller. Notice the orientation of your skull. Specifically, observe your chin. Is your chin lifting up high? Is it tilting diagonally? Can you parallel your chin to the floor to find a more neutral orientation of your skull? And even softly glide your chin towards the back of your throat. Now lift up from the back of your neck, the back of your skull, while relaxing the shoulders down. Maybe you hook the right elbow outside of the left thigh. About 5 more deep breaths. On an exhale, unwind your spine and straighten both legs forward once again, this time preparing for seated forward fold or Paschimottanasana, in which you may find it helpful to take a strap and place it around the balls of your feet so that you can adjust the length of the strap in order to relax the shoulders down the whole way. Or you can walk your hands down the backs of the legs and maybe eventually clasp the big toes. So flex your feet and press the insteps forward, also flexing the front muscles of your thighs without locking the knees. Ground your sitting bones and breathe in, lift up from the base of your spine to your crown. Keep the shoulders relaxed and your throat open. Now as you breathe out, hinge forward just a little bit from the hips. Pause as you inhale, pressing the pelvis down and stretching the spine longer. Continue to fold if and only if you can do so while still creating space throughout your neck and chest. Some of you might be able to clasp your big toes with your index and middle fingers without causing any unnecessary tension. Some of you might go further and take a block and hold that across the soles of your feet. Let's tune into another 5 deep breaths. Maybe close the eyes. Really feeling the sensations of the body from the inside out. On your next in breath, lead with your chest to slowly rise up. I invite you into Hero's Pose, Virasana, in which you can either sit directly on your calves or on a block or two stacked right between your ankles, pointing your toes back, neither turning the feet out or in to make sure you're being safe with your knees. And then sit up tall. If this is not a comfortable position for your body, find what is so that you can sit tall and breathe well. Let's bring the arms behind our backs to interlace the fingers, further opening the fronts of the shoulders. Hug your elbows close together, wrap your wrists towards your left outer hip, and seal in the bottom of your front ribs as you lift up through the center of your spine. Chin is parallel to the ground to start. Begin to drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. Sending the breath across the right side of your neck, jaw, shoulders, shoulder blade. Relaxing the jaw and eyes at the same time. You could start to tilt your gaze down towards your hands, getting a little more into the back of the neck, or tilt your gaze up towards the sky, getting a little more towards the front of the neck. Listen to how your body is guiding you. What does it need here? What version of this pose? Last 3 deep breaths here. And on your next inhale, lift the head upright, release your arms, and inhale, roll the shoulders forward and up. Side out, mouth wide, shoulders back and down. One more deep breath in, forward and up. Long sigh, back and down. Let's switch sides. Now, as you're interlacing the fingers behind your back, notice what the default thumb is that goes on top. Switch it up. Hug the elbows close together. Wrap your hands to the right side of your hips. Sit up tall, seal in the front ribs. Start with the chin parallel to the floor. And then drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. Sending the breath along the left side of your neck and jaw, upper back, shoulder blade. You could stay still or explore, turning your gaze downward towards your hands, or turning your gaze upward towards the sky. One more deep breath here. And inhale, come on up. Release the arms. Let's rotate the shoulders a few times in the opposite direction. Inhale, float the shoulders behind you and up. Exhale them forward and down. Twice more to the breath. And maybe even side out as you exhale. All right, let's prepare for alternate nostril breathing, which is one of the pranayamas that helps to tune deeper inward, activating the energy in Ajna chakra, your third eye center, your intuitive energy center. So let's rest the left hand on your lap. You might place it in Gyan Mudra, which is another helpful mudra for the same thing. The right hand is in Vishnu Mudra, sticking out your thumb, pinky, and ring fingers. As you close your lips, this time I invite you to breathe very softly and pretty much inaudibly. It's much more gentle than Ujjayi breath. We'll use the right thumb to close off the right nostril like this. We use the right ring and pinky fingers to close off the left nostril like this. Alternate nostril breathing. Let's practice 3 cycles of it together and then continue 3 cycles on your own. As you practice, you might close your eyes and visualize where you're breathing into and out of. I'm going to count to 6 as we inhale or exhale, and we count to 2 as we hold the breath in or out. Try to relax as you're holding the breath. All right, prepare to begin by first inhaling deeply through the nose. Open the mouth, clear it out. Close the mouth, close the right nostril with thumb. Inhale left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 2, 1. Close left, exhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Stay here. Inhale, right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Close right. Exhale, left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Second cycle. Inhale, left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Close left. Exhale, right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Inhale, right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Close right. Exhale, left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Third cycle. Inhale left for 6. Hold 2. Close left. Exhale right. 6. Hold 2. Inhale right. 6. Hold 2. Close right. Exhale left. 6. Hold 2. Keep going for 3 more cycles on your own. Take your time when you do finish, breathing naturally. Observe how you feel. Especially observe your energy and how it's been affected by the way you approached your physical yoga. Remembering that we're practicing brahmacharya specifically today. As you start to make your way down into Shavasana, I invite you, of course, you have the option to decline the invitation, to come into some version of supporting a gentle back bend, whether it's setting up an incline out of one block and one pillow like this, you can lie back like a recliner, or setting up 2 blocks, one underneath the skull, maybe the highest or the medium height, and one underneath the shoulder blades, medium height, as you rest your pelvis on the ground and either bend the knees apart, Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together like this, or stretch the legs forward. You can also put a weighted blanket across your pelvis and belly for grounding support. Helps to relax the nervous system. However you're setting up for Shavasana, take the time to intentionally place your body in a position that allows you deep rest, allows you to welcome stillness while being present. And then close your eyes when you arrive. Take a mental scan of your physical body, ensuring that it feels generally balanced, symmetrical, relaxed, open, and grounded. And allow yourself to fully be here, just observing the breath and your inner world for a few minutes of Shavasana. Resting here a little longer with your eyes closed. How does your physical body feel now? Sense the effects of your practice. Really tune in to how your body needs to begin moving. Let it guide you from one small, gentle movement to another, to slowly waking it up. As you feel ready, gradually turn over onto your right side, resting your head. Pause there for a few moments, observing your breath, noticing how your energy feels now. Does it feel any different since you arrived? In practicing brahmacharya, the hope is we leave the yoga practice feeling a little more harmonious within, a little more centered, a little more balanced in our energy, a little more clarity of mind and heart. Start to lift your body up, and please find a comfortable way to sit for our meditation. As we continue also focusing on Ajna Chakra, I invite you to place your hands in Gyan Mudra if that resonates with you. Thumb and index fingers touching, palms face up on the lap. And to close your eyes if that makes sense to you. I'm going to invite you into visualization, which is one practice to awaken energy in your intuitive center. So as you continue to breathe naturally, know that you can always come back to the feeling of the breath if your mind wanders as your portal back to what you're choosing to focus on. Remember your intention for your practice today. What quality are you choosing to focus on to contribute to your inner wealth? What quality? Is it patience? Is it self-forgiveness? Is it to feel inspired, peaceful clarity, loving awareness? Whatever that quality is, I invite you to visualize some symbol that represents that quality. For example, if it's peace, I might visualize a peaceful setting. Might be like a calm beach with peaceful ocean waves and sunshine. Choose what symbolizes the quality that you want to cultivate, that you are cultivating. And let your inner eyes, your mind's eye, rest on that visualization for the next few minutes. And the point of doing this is really to tap into the feeling inside of you where that quality already exists. When we live our lives feeling as though the source truly resides within, what we're looking for outside of us is already inside of us. We are less likely to make choices that deplete our vital life force. Brahmacharya. Notice how you're feeling now in mind and heart. Remember your intention for today's practice. And what are you grateful now as we're closing? Remember to whom or what you dedicated today's practice. And together, let's join our voices, both giving and receiving the resonance we've strengthened here. Chanting Om 3 times. Bringing your palms in prayer towards your third eye center and bowing that towards your heart. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.